banks test their customers for can they continue to service their mortgage at different interest rates. Those tests in themselves will still have buffers over that. So that's not a test that's such that when interest rates get to that point, they can no longer service their mortgage. It's really just that gives them a sufficient buffer beyond which they can still service their mortgage. When you think about what's happening on the monetary policy front, we are lifting interest rates because there is excess demand in the economy beyond supply. We need to see demand cooling, and this is one of the transmission channels through which that is working.
At the same time, the data shows us that more people are going into mortgage arrears, that more people are going into other debt arrears, because we know that the last thing to go is the mortgage, right? People will not pay their credit card, they will not pay their rates, but the mortgage is the last to go. I noted the comments in the introduction to the report that cash flow pressures are growing and the buffers are likely to be tested. Aren't we in the worst scenario possible here? We've still got a roaring cost of living with high inflation eating away at the buffers. We've also got a significant amount of borrowing in the economy that is now having to accept a much higher interest rate than banks ever tested for. Doesn't that mean there is a real squeeze on, yes, a small group of New Zealanders, and yes, it may not completely threaten the stability of the banking sector, but there is a real squeeze on a significant portion of people who borrowed big during the COVID time? Are we in for a really dark winter?
What you're talking through is what we would expect to see in the way in which monetary policy tightens spending behaviour, spending eases, and then interest rates can decline. Likewise, borrowing eases. So what you've explained is really the natural feed-through of tighter monetary policy impacting on spending decisions and behaviours, and then that itself easing inflation pressure. So what we are seeing is what we are hoping to observe, which is less spending to better match the supply capacity, inflation pressures easing, and the economy working its way through this, the current environment. So I would characterise it as business as usual.